dip it a little bit in your pigment, and then you're going to dip it in water again, and then go ahead and give yourself a wash. You might have to go over it a couple times because you don't want any harsh lines. So we're going to, okay, next one is dry brush. So we want to make sure that our brush is as dry as possible. Eyes up on the board, please. So then I'm going to go ahead and go into an orange. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my paper towel and take off some of that orange so it's not heavy on my paintbrush. Then I'm going to go to my paper, and then this is exactly what I'm wanting. Now, that obviously is not the coverage that I want for a dry brush, so I'm going to do the same thing again. Take a little pigment, go ahead and same spot on my paper towel, get both sides going. So get off as much as I can, do not go into the water, and then you want to see areas of your background, which is white, in your dry brush section, okay? So go for it. For the Impressionism style, I'm only going to get like maybe half pigment on my brush. Do you see that? Half pigment. And then I am going to start kind of doing my commas, just very different directions, leaving spaces in between. Very important, okay? And I'm going to stop. I am going to get a little bit more water on my brush, but I don't mind that I'm going to have a little bit of orange pigment still in my brush. Now I'm going to go to my red. Eyes up front, please. Same thing, getting a little bit, maybe half pigment on my brush. And I'm going to, actually that's a little too much. You see that little curl? I'm going to take that off on my palette. Same thing. Now I'm going to go in between and do another, making small little commas. And then actually I am going to flip my brush over, get into my third color, and go back and do some more commas. It's okay though if I get a little bit over the color that's already there, because it's kind of nice. It gives you another tint that will really be nice. Impressionism is just exactly that. Because I want to start with my lightest color. We're doing the radiating piece, and this particular piece is going to be circular. Sometimes you'll have a radiating piece, but it's going to be maybe rectangular, but we're going to do circular here. So I'm going to start with my lightest color. My lightest color is orange. So I'm just going to go ahead quickly and do an orange center. Nothing too, don't work it too much, okay? Don't clean your brush. Go into your next color. A lot of times what I'll do though is I'll flip my brush over, so on this side is orange, this side is red. But I am going to use my red side now, and I'm going to go ahead and go around it. I don't want to go too much into that orange because I want to make sure that I've got a good orange, but I also want to make sure that I see red on this outside. Does that make sense? Again, don't work it too much. You do want to have some type of brush. Yeah, you want to see it. And it's not like a really heavy blend. Then I'm going to go into my green. No cleaning my brush. Same thing. And again, it's okay if I get a little bit of that red and on the outside, because that gives it a little bit of character. You with me? Can you see that okay? I know it's a little bit shiny, but... So, lighter, next color, darkest. Again, not too much working it, otherwise you kind of lose this gradation. It's really what it's called too. It's called gradation. So let's go ahead and try that. So I'm going to go back in here, give myself a little bit, take some of those stark lines off there, because I don't want to have that. I don't want to have the stark lines. We are working on just practicing different brush strokes so they can get ready for their painting. Look at you. I've never seen you use that. Okay, next one is called the double load. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you my palette. on one side of my flat brush, I'm going to give myself some red. On the other side of my flat brush, I'm going to give myself some green. Oh, so this is what I did. That's wrong. Do you see that green covered my red too much? Let's see what I'm going to get with that. Hold on. Okay, so that's not too bad, but that's not what we want. So don't do anything yet. I need you guys looking at the top. Let me try it again. I'm going to get a little bit on my brush. On the one side is red. I'm going to go back and very gently do the other side green. I like this better. Then I'm going to do this. So you're double loading. You've got two different types of paints on your brush. You're not blending. You're not doing anything. You're just putting it down on the paper. Okay? So I'm going to do orange and I'm going to do red and see what that looks like. Doesn't matter what color it is. Whatever you have. You're just double loading. Then I might do orange and green. So you do have to make sure that you've got a clean brush to start with. You're not blending or anything. You're just putting it down on the paper. If you blend it, you've messed up the brush stroke. Yeah, that green and orange really are nice. It's a really good understanding of double loading when you've got that green and orange together. I've got a clean brush here, pretty much. It's not too bad. And I'm going to do my green because I want it to be darker for you to see. I need everybody looking up here. It's not a difficult technique, but you need to watch it a couple times. So you're going to start with your brush flat, which is why it's called the flat brush. So because I want my larger branch to be this, wider. As I move into a smaller branch, I'm going to twist to where it's thinner. Okay? Watch. Keep watching. I'm going to go ahead and do another, you know how trees are. You're going to have larger to smaller. I want to do something out here, but you're just twisting it. And you know what? If you're a little bit wobbly, that's the better. Because branches are wobbly. I might go like this and take a branch out like that, and then I'm going to really do a light touch on the ends, because now that's a little bit too much. I don't like that, because I want real thin. You can get really thin using this flat brush, and I'm holding my brush perpendicular to the paper. So don't do anything yet. Look at me back here. You're holding your brush, larger branch, I'm slanting it. But once I start doing my smaller branches, I'm pulling my brush and holding it perpendicular to my paper. You ready? Go. Go fast and show you up top first, and then you guys can try that on your own. For me, I need to hold my wrist. So if you guys will look up here, I hold my wrist so that I've got a base going. I'm not like loose, so I'm actually holding my arm so that I've got a really light line going in. I'm going to do a box outline. All you're doing is just making lines. And actually, outlining is you're kind of making a box. So eyes up front, please. Eyes up front, please. You're going to go ahead and do however you'd like. If you want to give your hand a brace, a lot of artists do that. You're just using the very edge of that brush and you're outlining. That is it on that.